So this is our cover story tonight on Fineprint, and it has come in from the northeastern state of Manipur, which has been on fire for over 2 months now. The situation has been very tense since late April, but now it seems to be touching a new tipping point. And we want to warn our viewers that parts of this story can be very triggering. There is a 26-second video that has emerged from the state's Kangpokpi district. And this video has gone viral, but we at WION have decided not to broadcast this video because of its very sensitive nature. But that doesn't mean that we won't report on it. It shows a mob, and the mob has stripped 2 women naked. And the women are being paraded and dragged into a field even as they're being sexually assaulted. There are dozens, hundreds of men who are walking along with them. And some of these men appear to be as young as about 15. And according to the police complaints after the parade, one woman was dragged into the fields and was gang raped. The video is not from today, it is from the 4th of May. The Indian Supreme Court has now expressed some deep concerns over the situation in Manipur. India's Chief Justice D.Y. Chandrachud has reacted strongly to the incident. He said, and I quote him here, "Deeply disturbed, using women as instruments to perpetrate violence is simply unacceptable." The top court has also ordered the centre and the state governments to take immediate action. Otherwise, the apex body has said that it will intervene. So what has led to this situation? Well, at the centre of this is the issue of communities, the dominant group of Meitei and the minority group of Kuki and Nagas. The Meitei are based in the capital and the scarce plain regions. Mind you, only about 10% of the land area in Manipur is plains. Kuki and Nagas mostly reside in the hills. It all started when some members of the Meitei community demanded for scheduled tribe status, and the High Court ordered that the state government should consider for their inclusion. But this, of course, did not sit well with the Kuki and the Naga communities because an ST status is given to minority tribal groups, and Meitei is neither of the two. A green light to this demand would, of course, mean members of Meitei would be allowed to buy land in the hilly tribal regions. It will also mean that they will be eligible for reserved seats in government colleges. They'll be qualified for reserved government jobs. It will also mean more political representation. And all of this would be scooped out of the benefits that are currently enjoyed by communities like the Kukis and the Nagas. Manipur has seen extreme violence in the past 3 months. The law and order situation is in complete shambles. So far, according to official data, at least about 140 people reportedly been killed, and over 50,000 people have been driven out from their homes and been displaced. Experts say that the entire system has failed the state. There is a complete lack of political willingness to crack down on the violence. A stricter police vigilance is required, and adding fuel to the fire is the lack of development in the state. So this is the situation in Manipur, and what is baffling and what is shocking and what is causing outrage is the fact that despite the fact that it is violence that has been ongoing since the beginning of May, the government has still not been able to come to grips with it. The shocking video of the 2 women who were stripped naked and paraded in the village and then dragged into a field before the young woman, the 21-year-old woman, was gang raped, has shook the conscience of the nation. Now, this is what the Indian government must now do. It is important that law and order is immediately restored, and the perpetrators of these gruesome, horrific crimes of sexual violence against women, they need to be brought to justice. And to give us more information in terms of what the situation at this moment is like in Manipur, we're being joined in by Hoinu Hoysel. She's an independent journalist and also a founder of the Northeast Story. She's joining us on this broadcast. Now, Ms. Hoysel, the videos that have come in from Manipur have been really troubling, but the video that has gone viral is of these 2 women who were stripped naked. And according to reports, one of them was brutally gang raped by the mob that was parading them. Now, what action has the police taken on the perpetrators who are quite clearly visible in that video?
Hi, thank you for having me. When we look at this incident, immediately what comes to mind is an incident that happened. An incident that happened on the 4th of May is resurfacing. I mean, is brought into discussion on the table like this today, only because a video had gone viral. Now, I want to ask you in turn, what if the video had not gone viral? Are we going to brush aside all this, like many incidents that had happened in the recent past? For instance, the killing of a lady who was mentally, who had a mental problem in Imphal, Don Ngaiching, who was killed brutally with no compassion, with absolutely no regard for the fact that she is a lady and the fact that she is suffering from a mental illness, the manner in which she was killed, or David who was beheaded and his head brought up as if it was a trophy. So are we going to brush aside all this because there was no video
Ms. Hosel,
documentation of this? Yeah.
These incidents,
So,
I get your point. The point that
yes.
you're making is because this video has gone viral, there is outrage across India. And the point that you're making is there are other incidents that have happened for which there is no video evidence, and therefore, there is not enough outrage about the violence that's been ongoing since the early weeks of May. The question that I want to ask you is, the entire law and order machinery in the state of Manipur appears to have broken down. So why is it that the state government has just not been able to clamp down on this horrific violence that has been going on in Manipur week after week since the month of May?
Well, I would also like to just look at the incident. If we look at this, going back to this incident, the manner in which, the audacity in which it was committed, if we look at the body language of these people, the perpetrators, it is so clear that they've been emboldened. It is so clear that they're walking with a sense of comfort and a sense of confidence in going about what they were doing. And it wasn't just one person. It was a teamwork. It appeared as if the entire village congregated to parade a lady, the two ladies, and did it. So it was actually a teamwork. And to say that it was not, to say that it had not caught the attention of the power that be is almost like fooling the world. Absolutely. How can the incident, which was reported on a day-to-day basis, even minute incident that has been happening from the 3rd of May, and mind you, this happened on the 4th of May, to imagine that this escaped the attention of the power that be, I do not buy that story. So
I think you've made a very important point there, Ms. Hosel, because as you say, because the government of the state is aware of what is happening there on the ground, and there's no way that they can shun accountability for it. And what is important at this point of time is for all those victims who've suffered this gruesome violence, irrespective of the community and the ethnicity that they may belong to, it is important and it is imperative for the government to provide them with justice. Thank you very much indeed, Ms. Hosel, for joining us and getting us your insights there.
Thank you.
WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.